A key witness in the Diddy trial has gone missing. This is super concerning because she is crucial for the case against one of the biggest names in music. She was actually going under a pseudonym like 3 other witnesses in the case, but she decided to waive that right and reveal her identity in her testimony. But now she's MIA. The federal prosecutors don't know where she is, her lawyers don't know where she is, and the prosecutors are using her testimony in the opening statement on May 12th. That's not that far away. For now, she's known as Victim 3, and she was subpoenaed, which means that she is required to be.
It turns out that Ollie Carter wasn't just talking randomly when she started revealing the truth about what Diddy and his inner circle had allegedly been doing all these years behind closed doors. She wasn't just speculating, she had actually been subpoenaed and listed as a witness for Diddy's upcoming trial. But then, just as the trial was about to begin, something strange happened. Ollie vanished. She disappeared completely, and to this day, even her closest family members and her legal team have no idea where she is or what happened to her. To make things even more concerning, a voice note Ollie had sent to a close friend was uncovered right before the trial was set to start. In that message, she shared some disturbing information, especially about a woman who had apparently been shielding Diddy for years, allowing him to allegedly carry out serious crimes without facing consequences. The woman she mentioned? Christina Carroro. Now, if Christina's name sounds familiar, it's because she was mentioned by Diddy himself in a Facebook post back in 2021. In that post, Diddy praised her, saying, "Meet Christina Carroro, Chief of Staff at Combs Enterprises. She's been my right hand for the last 8 years. She keeps everything in my life and business running. I don't know how I'd function without her." At the time, no one thought twice about this post. It seemed like a simple shout-out to a trusted employee. But looking back now, in light of everything that's come out, it raises some serious red flags. Christina has been named in multiple lawsuits over the years, all accusing Diddy of various types of abuse and misconduct. And in many of those lawsuits, Christina is described not just as someone who was present, but as someone who helped make it all happen, someone who enabled it. Just recently, Christina broke her silence and released a public statement. In it, she said, "For months, horrific accusations have been made about me in various lawsuits regarding my former boss. These false allegations are causing serious and permanent damage to my reputation and my emotional well-being. I have never condoned or assisted in harming anyone, nor have I ever drugged anyone. The idea that I could be accused of participating in or ignoring abuse is incredibly upsetting and unthinkable. That's not who I am. My heart goes out to all victims of sexual assault. I'm confident these allegations will be proven false." But many people found her statement hard to believe, and for good reason. Her name has come up repeatedly in lawsuits from various sources. It's hard to ignore a pattern like that. For example, in the sexual assault lawsuit filed by producer Lil Rod, he described Christina as the Ghislaine Maxwell to Diddy, implying she played a similar enabling role. According to the lawsuit, when Diddy allegedly started making inappropriate advances toward Lil Rod, he went to Christina, thinking she might help. But instead of helping, she allegedly dismissed his concerns, saying, "You know, Sean will be Sean," and brushed it off as just Diddy's way of showing affection. The lawsuit also claims Christina handled Diddy's personal life, arranging for escorts, paying them, and ensuring his employees carried bags filled with various substances, including illegal drugs.
You get pressured, attacked, stalked, and hunted down for your own information. You get abused and re-victimized again by people who wanted to argue a back and forth this week like that f***ing mattered. Okay, you had Stu Peters and Timothy Charles Homestead going back and forth, and nobody has even bothered. Not that I give a damn, and not that I understand that you guys are gonna be that selfish, but nobody has bothered to apologize for all the hell that has happened. But you guys were arguing back and forth, and in that meantime, we lost our home. You don't believe me? Here you go. What once was a full house, we were still paying rent on our house. What we were doing this whole time was moving everything because our house is gone. Our house is gone. This is the speaking out.
In another lawsuit, filed by former executive Phil Pines, he accused Diddy of physical abuse and emotional manipulation. He recounted one shocking incident where he witnessed Diddy kick a woman outside his house. Diddy reportedly shouted, "I told you I was crazy," before kicking her in the stomach and forcing her to remove her sweatshirt. Pines said this left him deeply disturbed. But once again, Christina allegedly stepped in not to help the victim, but to silence Phil. According to him, she warned him never to talk about it again and hinted there would be consequences if he did. Phil also claimed that Christina helped organize what he called Wild King Nights, which were essentially sex parties lasting for days. She allegedly handled everything, booking hotel rooms, arranging the mood lighting, providing sex toys, male enhancement pills, and even baby oil. Christina was described as the person who made sure these parties went off without a hitch. Another disturbing case came from a woman in San Francisco, who filed a lawsuit last October. She said she met Diddy through FaceTime in 2018 after a man she met outside a bar called him to show off. During that call, she made a joke about Diddy possibly being involved in Tupac's death.
She was able to escape eventually and ran out into the streets yelling and screaming, and a neighbor heard her because this happened in a quiet suburban neighborhood.
So there's a witness?
Yes, we have a witness because as she's running out the house yelling, a neighbor saw her.
According to her, Diddy became enraged and told her she would pay for what she said. Days later, she was invited over by the same man under the pretense of helping with cancer medication. But when she got there, she claims Diddy, Christina, and others were waiting for her. She was allegedly assaulted in horrific ways, including threats with a knife and forced encounters while others watched. Christina, she claims, stood by and later gave her an unknown pill. The woman eventually escaped and got help from a neighbor who called the police, but, she says, nothing came of the report because Diddy had already paid off law enforcement. Then there's the more recent lawsuit filed by rising artist Seven Grizzle. She said she thought she was entering a mentorship program with Diddy but instead found herself subjected to multiple forms of abuse. Once again, Christina's name came up. Throughout all of these accusations and cases, one name consistently appears: Christina Carroro. And every time, she's allegedly playing the same role, organizing, cleaning up, silencing witnesses, and enabling Diddy's actions. Now, what makes things even more concerning is that Ollie Carter, who had been publicly calling out this behavior, was allegedly set to testify in the trial. But before that could happen, she vanished. Just days before she disappeared, she went live on social media, crying and terrified, saying that she feared for her life. According to her, armed men had broken into her home and flipped everything upside down. She even named people she believed were behind the attack and claimed they had leaked her address and hired men to harm her.
What was our beautiful 3-bedroom acre home on 21225 Standing Rock Avenue, because everybody has the address, because organizations that were attached to Marx, Sawyer, and many other organizations decided to put out the address, my license plate to one of my cars, and many other of us. So here you go, you can have it, right? Because this is what happens when you speak out. This is what happens when you tell all the truth. This is what happens when you decided to stand up for the children, and when you understand that survivors don't just get to do a seminar, and when you understand that survivors don't just get to just be and then show up somewhere and talk and monetize everything that they're saying. When you realize that that's bullshit, then you will understand. Look at the tactics and pay attention. Pay attention. I'm still not asking you for a damn thing but to wake up. I'm not asking you for a damn thing but just to get outside. I don't give a damn about money, numbers on my platforms. You can have all of it. You took everything. The only thing that I give a shit about right now is the fact that there is a baby in the way. There's babies in the way. There are people that I love that I can't get out of the way. What am I supposed to do when the people in the authority that you're supposed to go to, you can't go?
Ali's disappearance has only fueled speculation that she was targeted for speaking out. And now, with her gone, the trial is left without a crucial witness, someone who might have helped expose what really happened behind the scenes. This entire situation continues to unfold, but one thing is clear: there's a pattern of abuse, denial, and silencing that can't be ignored anymore. And people are finally starting to connect the dots. And now that we've laid all of this out, Ollie Carter's shocking disappearance, Christina Carroro's alleged involvement, and the countless lawsuits piling up against Diddy were left with a disturbing but crucial question. How far does this actually go? Because this isn't just about one man or one assistant. What we're seeing is a system of silence, protection, and manipulation that seems to have shielded powerful people for years. Christina Carroro wasn't just someone who worked for Diddy. If the allegations are true, she was one of the key players helping to orchestrate the machine, the cover-ups, the threats, the payouts, the intimidation. Without someone like her keeping everything under wraps, Diddy likely wouldn't have gotten away with half of what he's accused of. And now? With Ollie Carter gone, possibly silenced just before she could speak in court, it's clear that something much darker is going on here. Ollie had been one of the few brave enough to speak up, to expose what others were afraid to even whisper about. She risked everything, knowing what kind of people she was dealing with. She even went live in fear for her life, telling us plainly what was happening, but no one protected her. No one stepped in. And now she's missing. That should scare all of us. If people can be threatened, attacked, or even vanish just for telling the truth, what does that say about our justice system? What does that say about the power these celebrities still hold, even in the face of overwhelming accusations? Let's not forget, this is the same industry that protected predators for decades. We saw it with R. Kelly. We saw it with Harvey Weinstein. And now, we're seeing the same patterns repeat with Diddy. Powerful men surrounded by loyal people who protect them at all costs, victims who are silenced or ignored, and a public that's only just beginning to ask the right questions. And while Diddy continues to deny everything, and Christina Carroro insists she had no part in any of it, the stories are piling up. Too many names. Too many victims. Too many matching details across multiple lawsuits. And at the center of it all, one missing woman who was ready to testify. So where do we go from here? Well, that's where you come in. If you're watching this and feeling the same frustration, the same anger, and disbelief, then speak up. Share this video. Keep the conversation alive. Because silence is exactly what allows people like this to keep doing what they're doing. If we let Ollie Carter's voice be buried, then we're part of the problem too. We owe it to her, and to every victim who's spoken out, and even more so, to those who never got the chance. So stay alert. Stay vocal. And most importantly, stay questioning. Because while celebrities may try to cover things up, and the media might shift the spotlight, the truth has a way of coming out eventually. And when it does, let's make sure the world is still listening. Thank you for sticking with me through this deep dive. I know this topic is heavy, but it's important. If you found this video insightful, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this.